Howdy. Hello, fiction fiends. My name's Sonja, and I write, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I know you've probably been wondering, Sonja, you've been gone for at least 2 days. What have you been doing? Well, aside from upgrading the quality of my YouTube videos and purchasing this delicious microphone, I look like a farmer. Okay. Moving back into university. As you can see behind me, I'm not in my typical recording space, which is my home bedroom. I'm now in my university bedroom as I live on campus in the University of Toronto. So now that I've finally stuck my posters on the wall and I'm all settled in, I can get back to doing my YouTube videos. Yes. For anybody new here, hi there, I'm Sonja, I write as you heard, and welcome to my channel. For this specific YouTube series, I narrate a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure fanfiction I've been working on Wattpad. And if you're interested in starting the series from the very beginning, you can go into my channel and click the playlist titled My Fanfiction audiobook. I don't want to keep you all too long, so let's get straight into the next chapter.
Good evening, little one. Pulpo's thick breath fogged the cell's glass window as he peered down at Wyan. It was the third time in one day that she'd come inside that prison. Hello, sir. Call me Pulpo. I'm a friend, remember? My apologies, Pulpo. Wyan adjusted her cap and continued to stare at the floor. Don't look, don't look, don't look up at him, she repeated over and over in her head. The capo's eyes were so dark that they left Wyan feeling uneasy. His eyes were not the same deep troves of brown that the gunslinger Mista had, and they were far from close to the golden stare that Abbacchio possessed. They were black, bleak, and all-consuming. She was glad that Pulpo saw a lack of eye contact as a sign of respect. She would have hated having to look at him. I'm here on Mr. Bucciarati's orders. He brought me here to be officially dismissed. You must have had quite the eventful day, little Wyan. Tell me about it, Pulpo interrupted. Wyan kept her eyes on the carpet. Sir, I mean Pulpo, I'm here to be I asked you about your day. Can't you answer me, girl? Wyan bristled at the sound of the capo's patience running thin. Busy, she answered quickly, and memorable to say the least. Pulpo chuckled softly. This was good. He wasn't angry at her, or at least he wasn't anymore. Wyan knew not to anger the capo. This entertainment was a lifesaver. I'd love to hear all about your day. I get very few guests, little Wyan. Speaking to another human being is quite invigorating. Well, Wyan began. I was reviewing paperwork for Leaky Eye Luca late last night when he called me. He'd said to meet him at the port and to wear something presentable. So I got dressed and left my place. Then Luca and his coworker, Galstav, brought me along to meet you here at the city prison. Wyan tried to be as casual as possible when saying the Viper's name, but she couldn't help but break into a nervous sweat. It wasn't a good look to have been working with a traitor. Then you made me a temporary member of Passione so that I could deliver a message to the Bodyguard Squad. And once Mr. Bucciarati received my message, I came back to you. Wyan stopped briefly to catch her breath, reviewing all that had happened in that single day. And when I thought it was all over, you sent me to the Pink Martini to deliver another message. And how did things go there? He questioned. Good, she lied. Excellent. Please continue. Well, there's not much to say. The Bodyguard Squad caught the traitor, and now I'm back here. Silence.
The pressure of not knowing how well she did left YN with trembling hands. YN's gaze left the comfort of the floor and glided up to the capo to gather his reaction. He was smiling. "Thank you for the company and for delivering my messages. You look exhausted, child. You may go home, YN. You are officially dismissed from your position in Passione." She thanked Polpo and turned away. "And don't forget, little rabbit, just because you're free for now doesn't mean you're free from your debt." YN spent the next 3 days relaxing, lounging, reading, and most importantly eating as much as she wanted. She needed the reward after one terribly long day with the Bodyguard Squad, and she was glad to have it over with, though she would never forget the sight of Galstav in his underwear. Gross. Working with Luca had been a struggle too, but not the constant chaos that the Bodyguard Squad had given her. Luca's work was far different, far easier. Now, free of the mafia, YN decided to invite an old business partner out for coffee, Carlo. YN slipped on her shoes and smiled. She knew that she was going to have a lovely day. 3 hard knocks sounded at the door. YN didn't have guests. Ever. Not even her friends from work came to her apartment. Not because she didn't want them there, but because her home was small and there were better places to be. The knocking came again, this time much harder. Whoever was standing in the hallway was becoming very impatient. YN cautiously tiptoed closer to the front door and peered out through the small peephole. She scanned the hallway once and nearly screamed at the sight beyond her door. What the hell is the brute doing at my house? Abbacchio stood in the hallway with his arms crossed tightly against his chest. He had rid of the dress clothes she'd seen him in a few nights before and was now clad in all black. She couldn't quite understand his choice of attire for the summer heat, especially with his long hair draped over his shoulders, but she was more focused on how he managed to find her address and why he was banging on her door at 8 in the morning. YN swung open the door, mouth agape. Her face asked all of the questions that she couldn't speak, so without having to say a word, Abbacchio answered, "I'm in the mafia. Of course I know where you live." "You can't be here," YN spat. "Yes, I can," he replied flatly. "I have a meeting in less than 50 minutes. Whatever you need can wait, sir." YN made sure to put an emphasis on sir, as she was hoping to remind the tall mafioso that they were not supposed to be in contact with one another. At all. "I didn't ask. You need to come with me." A calloused hand wrapped around YN's bare arm as Abbacchio hauled her out of the apartment. "I'm being serious, you brute." YN dragged her feet in protest. "This meeting is important, so take your sorry mafioso butt and go bother someone else." Abbacchio spun around so quickly that YN nearly lost her balance. Slender fingers wrapped around her chin, tilting her face to meet his own. Abbacchio was so close that she could smell his minty breath on her face. "Bucciarati has revoked his previous order," Abbacchio explained sternly. "I am to bring you to him. No further questions. All you need to know is that Bucciarati is livid with you, so mind your tongue and cooperate." Livid? What could she have done? Questions flooded every corner of her mind as Abbacchio turned, firm grip still on her arm, and led her closer to the car garage. "Where are we going? Not L'Abbacchio's, I hope. There are still traitors there." YN's feet dragged across the carpet as Abbacchio pulled her along. She needed to buy herself time to get some of her questions answered. "The traitors have all been dealt with." YN imagined it would have taken them months to find all of the traitors. "It's what happens when we don't have a rookie tagging along to weigh us down," he continued sternly. More questions bubbled at YN's lips as she dug her feet deeper into the carpet, but Abbacchio was not in the mood for YN's antics. Suddenly, the brute spun around, lifted YN off the ground and slung her over her shoulder like a lifeless sack of potatoes, just like he had done to Galstav. "Can you please stop talking?" he hissed. Wyan hung limply against Abbacchio's shoulder. She could feel the muscles beneath her moving as he walked down to the garage. After a short walk, Wyan was gently placed down in front of a sleek black car. "Get in," was all Abbacchio said before settling into the driver's seat. Wyan thought for only a moment that she could run back to her apartment and pretend that none of this had ever happened, but the brute was quick to see the thought dancing in her eyes and quickly called her out. "Rookie, get in, now." "Oh, hello there. I've noticed that you've made it to the end of the video. Thank you for your support, and thank you for watching all the way to the end of this video. Don't forget to check out my Instagram, which is Sonja Writes, where you can get more writing updates, and my Patreon, which is also Sonja Writes, where you can get some fun little sneak peeks and exclusive chapters to my fan fiction, as well as checking out my fan fiction as a whole, which can be found on Wattpad titled Guilty Conscience. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys around. Ta-ta!